Ladies and gentlemen, we dupe Black Bolt, and seeing as I'm not in the CCP, I've not had a chance to test him out duped with the hitmonkey and medusa synergies that make him an absolute beast. So medusa turns his provocation buffs into permanent buffs, and hitmonkey gives him 300 increased critical rating for every buff on Black Bolt. Eventually he will turn into sort of like a Corvus type champion. I don't want to put Cosmic Corvus because there's already a Cosmic Corvus, but it's kind of like that sort of deal eventually. So in this fight with Axial Impulse and Juggernaught, we have Caustic Temper, and Black Bolt is poison immune, so we don't have to worry about that. And he has the permanent furies from his provocation, so again we don't have to worry about that node as soon as we get our first fury. If you don't have a fury, you do have 90% reduced damage, but with the Rising Sun node, where you get furies every time you land a hit, up to 10. If you hit an 11th fury, you then degen 12% of Juggernaught's attack. This is a pretty stacked Juggernaut, so we really don't want that. So we have to keep an eye on the number of furies we have, and keep in mind that we do have furies from Black Bolt's Sig ability, so add them up and just keep a track of them, because it's kind of easy to lose track of the amount of furies that you have from Rising Sun and how many furies you have from his duped ability, but keeping that in mind, then you're golden for this fight. The Juggernaught does have the Unstoppable, obviously, and we don't have a way to get around that, so it's just a case of weighing it out and really avoiding the specials. They are unblockable, and I have been known to get smashed in the face by Juggernaught's SP1, so I'm going to try and push him to an SP2 as much as possible. It's easy to evade, and do shorter combos, even add a heavy in, not only just to get rid of the Rising Sun Furies, but also just to get distance so I can see that SP1 coming and not get smacked in the face. That's kind of my plan, and it works out pretty well. You know, once Black Bolt has it's a short ramp up. Once you're up there, he does hit pretty damn hard. Now, how many of you remember the recoil damage on Black Bolt's SP2? I'm so glad they took that away, because you do get the big damage, especially with these synergies off the SP2. That was a chunky SP2, and it would suck if we had recoil on there, especially without suicides, but they took it away thankfully a few years ago, and now we get to use that amazing animation. Even when you had the recoil damage, I did love using Black Bolt back in the day as a 4-star. Because of that animation, I thought it was just really cool and fun to throw off. I am a big fan of the animations in this game, and the specials that look the coolest are my favourite. You know, like Morningstar's SP2, I love Cyclops SP2, and you know, mostly beam attacks, but the twirly whirly that Black Bolt does is super fun, and I do love it. And thankfully now it hits like a hammer, and I'm looking forward to taking him into Act 7.2 when it drops and seeing just how good he is in there. It's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully there's a couple of bosses there that Black Bolt shines in. It'll be a lot of fun taking some different champions in there and see just what works. But he worked for this fight. He is a really good counter for this fight with these synergies that you can bring in. The Medusa one especially is the most important one, because it makes his buffs permanent, and he can get 15 furies and 15 cruelties, and the damage does ramp up. We are seeing some pretty nice numbers. The hitmonkey one is really nice for the crit rate. You know, eventually we are basically turning into a Corvus and critting every single hit, so that is amazing as well. And you know, having those guaranteed crits, almost guaranteed crits, when you've got all these buffs on that SP2, it's just nice seeing the big EL numbers from that special attack. I did take some degen there. I did mistakenly hit too many furies. I was just enjoying, you know, the big EL numbers just a little bit too much. Thankfully I caught it, and we are now not degen anymore. That would have been tragic to die at this point. But Juggernaught is absolutely melting. This is a pretty quick fight, you know, especially with class disadvantage. If we had class advantage, though, we were hitting like an absolute train, even more so than we already are. That would be kind of fun. I'm going to see if there's any techs in 7.2 to try him on and see just what happens when we can ramp him up and unleash Black Bolt. This is how Black Bolt should be hitting, and I'm glad these synergies exist and make him an absolute beast. And we can just finish off Juggernaught with this medium. I hope you've enjoyed this showcase of Black Bolt, and if you do like it, please drop me a like. Let me know what you think about Black Bolt in the comment section below. But I will catch you in the next one. All the best.